I think it's that time, folks. Hello. Hello, and welcome to Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything in Idle Champions. I'm told I'm Gaarawarr. That works for me. Today we get to meet the cutest addition to the Idle Champions lineup in quite a while. We will do that shortly. So excited. We'll also be taking a trip back to Icewind Dale. Because, this year's all about either going to hell or being freezing cold, I think, is kind of, that's how 2020 is. Yeah, we'll talk about, we have an Oral's Adversaries weekend. We'll talk about those buffs. So many things. There's supposedly also, we got a leak of supposed information. Is it in the game yet? Hold on. Nope. Just bug fixes. Well, those are good though. But we have a coming soon announcement that was heard earlier on Griddle Champions, which we'll repeat here. Sean said I was going to talk about it a lot, but Sean, I can't talk about it if it's not in the game yet. And maybe it is. Shall we go take a... Hold on. I'm spoiling what it is already. Oh, it's there. We'll come back. Teaser. It's in, and they didn't make an announcement about it. Announce this stuff. Announce it so people know it's there. Hey Gar, are you going to do your time gate on stream today? Oh, I guess I could. It doesn't take very long. Yeah. All right. Hey, how about we start with that? So, time gate. What do we got? We got a natural time gate weekend. It started today at noon Pacific. Keep in mind, for those of you who aren't in the United States, we did that whole stupid daylight savings time thing. So times are off, probably, for you when it comes to watching these streams and the updates in the game. But it is still noon Pacific time that they make the updates. It's just that what time that is for you might have changed. It sucks. That whole thing needs to go away. Okay, so Natural Time Gate Weekend, basically you get to come over here, and even if you don't have Time Gate pieces, or even if you do, you get to open up a free Time Gate. Woo, let's see what I got. My options are Strix, Walnut, and Kreidel. Normally I own all the champions, and they all have purple gear, because I've been here forever. Maybe not as long as 2020's lasted, but I've been here a long time. So I usually make my decisions based off who has the lowest item level, like average item level, so I can just bump them up a bit. But nah, we're going Walnut because she's got that new skin. I don't have it yet, but she's got that Kigurumi skin, so I'm just going to go Walnut. See, sometimes you just, you don't always make decisions based off like the best possible choice, but just off fun. So let's get out of here and let's grab a Walnut time gate. So you can pick your time gate while you're in a mission, but obviously you kind of have to leave it first, unless you've got multi-party mode going. But I don't want to do my multi-party mode, and we'll spend we get 3 days to do this, but we don't need 3 days. We don't need no stinking 3 days. All right. I don't know what my formation save is. It's probably for pushing something, and I'm not worried about that. So here's what I do. People have asked how I run my time gates. Well, here's how I run my time gates. I do a potion of speed. I do a potion of fire breath. The hour-long ones. I don't think I need heroism. I do clairvoyance, and I do giant strength. And then I take that off because I don't need to level that up. And then I just start clicking the buttons for the peoples. You know what? I'm going to use Regis because he's got a buff this weekend. We'll talk about that as we go through this. We'll throw some Binwin in. But this is what I do. I spend an hour on the first level. This is just me. This is me with lots of power. Actually, I need to switch my... If I really want lots of power, I need to switch my cores. Gib core. I don't know what spec I want for that yet. I need to change this because now it's running my background team. And I need to disable this. Not that it would do anything because I'm not in a free play, but I'll just like to be safe. I just like to be safe. All right, so I'm going to run like an hour of this. We'll throw Jarlaxel in for gold find. We'll throw a Briv in to jump all the things and some Shandy. So real quick, we've got an Oral's Adversaries weekend. So we got Evelyn with some Divine Prayer action going on. Regis with his Ruby Encouragement. Brunor with his Rally. Strix with both Haunted and Poor Hygiene buffs. So depending on what you want to focus on. And Omen with his Shadow Council. And we get this tiny little chest icon. Let's go see it in full size. It's not even going to... Is it going to show it? There we go. There we go. They're little spiky, frosty things. And the GE this weekend, so the Golden Epic, is Evelyn's Health, which is... She has an insane amount of health. And this gives her even more. Do I need... Is that shiny for me? Now I've got to go look. Where is she? Yes. Wow. Okay. So for me, and this is one of the ways I personally make decisions about whether I buy something. Like, so now buying that Golden Epic actually means more to me because I have a shiny there already. And when you get a Golden Epic in a slot that you already have a shiny in, it refunds you back a Potion of Polish for that shiny. So this, not only would this give me a Golden Epic, this would also give me a Potion of Polish with my purchase. So that actually makes it a little more valuable to me. Who do I want over here? You know what? We're throwing Freely in because we're going to be talking about one of Freely's friends today. Let me make this an actual formation that looks somewhat useful, though. Maybe we'll put him up here. And him like there, maybe. Yeah, maybe something. Maybe something like that. Which means I can now go Ruby Encouragement behind. Oh, and Walnut. Yeah, let's get Walnut in. We're in a Walnut time gate. We may as well bring Walnut in. For a new player in a time gate, would you go Strix, Nova, or Walnut? Ooh. That's a good question. Those are all pretty deep in the lineup, too, because we've got Walnut all the way up here. Strix is actually further along, and Nova's further along, isn't she? Unless I'm remembering incorrectly. That's a good question. So Strix isn't necessarily top tier DPS anymore, and if you're doing a time gate, you're not going to get a lot of gear out of her. So, but she does have a nice debuff. That's her Poor Hygiene ability. So the closer as things get like close to the formation, they take more damage. Nova's like this ramping tank that needs to be in from the beginning of a mission. She's pretty deep. Walnut, I mean, she can be a tank or a support. So I feel like I'm leaning towards Walnut. So you give you a tank option in this slot, where normally you've got like lots of DPS or supports. So she'd give you a tank option here, and she can also be used as a support. Let's get her up. Wait, that's not... Oh, over there. Okay. There we go. Yeah. What else do we want? You know what? I'm going to use Makos just because I don't need outrageous amounts of pushing for this. We should be able to go pretty far. I can always change things later. If we wanted to choose between Gromma or Kreidel in a time gate, I'd choose Gromma. Kabashokun? Yeah, Gromma. I'm just picking stuff. I don't know. I'm not optimizing this. Don't hate me. All right, so Oral's Adversaries. We talked about Oral's Adversaries. Oh, what's my wild offer? My wild offer is for Jaheira. It's not actually bad for $10. Not going to lie. Golden Epic, 7 chests, and a shiny. So you're getting a Gold Epic and a shiny for Jaheira. 2,500 gems, some time gate pieces, blacksmithing. That's not bad. That's not bad. They're getting better. The wild offers are getting better, folks. Cassius Hagar with the apparent new rules in Tasha's wonders if Marzuar might work better as a group patron rather than 2 individuals. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever have a patron be a member of the community. They have a lot of in-game stuff. Yeah, who knows? Gar is a moderately experienced player of all the champions, and I'm working on getting full epics. How long did it take you to go from all champs to all champs with epic gear? Oh, 3 years. But that's not a good measurement anymore, right? I think I was reading earlier today that on Reddit someone got it in like 6 months. It depends on how you make what if you want that whole full epic thing as a goal or not. 6 months with the progression I've been seeing playing through the Marzawaar account, which is the new player account for those of you who don't know. It feels like 6 months could probably be doable if it was a solid goal you made for yourself. So we're running along here. We talked about the weekend buffs. We talked about time gates. So your time gate weekend is out there. Make sure you check on what your choices are. Let's go look. Oh, speaking of my Marzawaar account. Currently working my way through Waterdeep. I actually ran through all the story down to Altar Deep. I'm going to continue this real quick. For those who are wondering, E18 Helm's Favorite, we already unlocked. We did all of Tomb of Annihilation. Well, not all of Tomb of Annihilation. We unlocked all the blessings in Tomb of Annihilation. We unlocked Azaka and Dragonbait. Dragonbait's with E19 favor. We unlocked Dragonbait in less than 2 months, folks. So if you haven't unlocked Dragonbait yet and you've been playing for a couple months, you can do it. In fact, tomorrow for Gaarawarr's deep dive guides, we're doing Gaarawarr's guide to Dragonbait. So I'll be talking about Dragonbait as a champion in general, but we'll also be doing live on stream Dragonbait's vanilla unlock adventure. I'll be trying to throw in just some, what some people might call suboptimal champions, just to show you that it can be done with different groups. I'll talk about what I think are like core champions that are really good and make it easy, but really that's just there's two, like Calliope and Dinar. I think those let you do it, and we're gonna test that out. But I think just like even just having Calliope and Dinar, but Esmeralda is a hidden gem for Dragonbait. Fantastic, she's amazing there. That is her niche. Esmeralda has a niche, and when she is in her niche, she shines like a diamond. Fantastic. Anyway, I've got all the Waterdeep stuff too. But what I've been wondering on here, I've been waiting for the Time Gate weekend because I am only missing swaps for 2 slots. Slot 3 and Slot 4. And Slot 4 we get in the event coming up, Feast of the Moon, that starts on Wednesday at noon Pacific. We get Sentry and Vlania. Sentry is a Slot 4 swap. We get Vlania, who is further down here. I want to say, is it Makos? I'm going to have to check. And then we get Penelope Halfpint, who is coming to the game. That's right. The Penelope Halfpint. I'm going to be showing her information. We've actually got, oh, look, champion spotlight's up. We'll come back to that little cutie here in a moment, though. So let me see what I really want. What I really, really want is a Slot 3 swap. Send me your energy, folks. If I can get that means I will be able to unlock multi-party and Modron once I grab Sentry in the event. Or are you just Shandy and Omen? Hold on. Is Omen... No, it's not. Yeah, Omen Slot 3. Yeah. Omen got it. Okay. I was like, wait, is he? I have to go check another account. This is one thing I wish we could do. There's lots of things I wish we had in the game, but one is I wish I could click here, and this just opened up to show all the champions available in the slot, even if I don't have them already. And then you just gray out the ones that people don't own with a little marker that says, here, let me show this on the other screen so it's easier to know what I'm talking about. Here's what I want. Idle champions. We're going to do temporary alliance. I wanted to say, like, if all I had was Binwin and Nieli, I want all of these to say Grama, Timegate, Spurt, Event, Artemis, Event, Omen, Event, right? And if you were in one that had an evergreen, then you'd be like, then you would open it up and it would say, you know, Delna, you would already have, right? But Nrak, oh, geez, I think he's a time gate now. But Hitch, evergreen, right? Like, you know, maybe it specifically would say newsletter or something, right? Like, I want that. So you know where people are and what you're looking for. Anyway, so we're going to grab, oh, man. It gave me Omen and Shandy. I want Shandy so bad. But I want multi-party even more. So, boom. Boom. I'll be unlocking Omen. And then that means I get my multi-party. Oh, and I finished Wisdom check, so I can complete this. Yay! Yay! So if people don't know, the Marzavar Challenge is what this account is. It is basically a new player account that I started a little less than 2 months ago. And we're just trying to play through, and with members of the community are doing the same thing, and we're playing through trying to figure out the kind of most efficient way to play through the game, and just kind of figure out when milestones are, like how long does it take to get X, Y, and Z, so that we can answer questions for the community better. Because when you've been playing a long time or you have a lot of power, a lot of times you kind of forget just what it's like to be a new player, and what progression looks like. So we're trying to tackle that. So, all right, Penelope. We got to go talk about Penelope, right? So champion spotlight's up. Penelope is a champion, is a character from originally Beyond Heroes, which is, you know, D&D Beyond Heroes, and then now Silver and Steel. So she is friends with, I mean, everyone, but specifically already in the game we have Avern, Freely, and Briv. Look at this animation. With a little skipping. It's adorable. It's adorable. So she's going to be a support champion that does stuff with some gold find and some healing and some buffing. A little mix of everything. She's going to be in slot 12, though. So even though she does gold find, she won't necessarily be someone who you bring in for Azaka farming. This is more like you're just going to be using her, and she's going to help you get a lot of gold while you're getting to your wall, right? Which is super useful as well. Not everybody has to be part of an Azaka farm, right? Oh, and she's got like an enemy debuff. She puts a slow on people. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Only going to be available for Mert and Vajra in terms of patrons. There's a lot of information here, which you should go read. Look at this. She's got a Chawinka. This is Walton, folks. I don't know if he gets a call out by name in the game, but this is Walton, the Chawinka. Walton's fantastic. I'm a big fan of Walton. All right. So her basic attack is called Go Away. She smacks the closest enemy and knocks him back a little bit. Her ultimate is Erupting Earth, which basically creates difficult terrain while doing AoE damage. So it basically creates a big, like, slow area. So some interesting crowd control. She's got a lot going on here with her formation abilities. Have you met my friends? Whenever she smacks an enemy and doesn't kill it, that enemy takes more damage from everyone else in the party for 30 seconds. Makes total sense. Chawinka's mask is the complicated one. So there's like it affects champions in different ways depending on what kind of champion they are. So tank champions get health, like they get a heal. Everyone else, like healing, support, and gold fan champions, get a buff to those types of things. Story time. Each champion within 2 slots of Penelope, when they kill an enemy, they add a stack to story time. So this is kind of one of those ramping buffs. So it's gonna help you a lot as you're getting up towards your wall, and then you're gonna have to do some fiddly stuff, kind of like with Walnut, to keep those capped on the harder levels. And then every time you change areas, the stacks of story time are reduced by half. So this is how they kind of fight that fiddly effect. But yeah, so she's going to be real good getting to your wall, and then she'll lose some of this when you stop killing things. Her specs are about your alignment. If you're good aligned, evil aligned, or just... And then instead of neutral, they just go, oh, well, we'll give the buff to everybody. But it's at lower amounts going along. So she's really going to focus on good parties with a 60% bonus multiplicative per good party member. 40 for evil, and then 20 if you just want to include everybody. Then she has a second set of specializations, which gives a minor eruption, like Erupting Earth, but to her attack, with some AoE damage. It lasts for a shorter period of time, though, so if you just want to slow people down. And then she has a Hey Batter Batter, where she basically, her knockback is bigger, and she does more damage. She's a support champion? I don't know. Maybe she's a hidden hitch? I don't know. Maybe she's hidden DPS, because she's going to triple her damage with that. And then she's got, obviously, some pretty cool items. We'll have to see. I'm looking forward to seeing all the rarities and what everything is. I know people have asked already, what's your opinion on Penelope? I don't have one yet. I can't have one because I haven't used her yet. I mean, I can read this. I can think she's super adorable. I can read this and say, hey, cool, support goal find healing in slot 12. Yeah, I'm down for that. I like the way, I like kind of, this is interesting. We haven't seen, a mix like this. So, I'm excited about it. But until we actually unlock her and then can actually go through like all of her upgrades, like, are any of these, like, we don't know, like, we know that some of these are supported by items, right? She gets an all champs damage. She gets, Have You Met My Friends gets item support. Chawinka Mask, Healing Charm portion gets item support. Chawinka Mask Tools for the Job gets item support. So these are separate things, right? And then she just gets her ultimate, the standard ultimate items. I don't know if she get what kind of feat support she gets for these. I don't know what kind of upgrade support. Like, as you're leveling her up, does she get upgrades for a lot for these? Which ones does she get upgrades for, and how much? Like, that's what determines how effective a champion is. Ultimately, they can have a really cool kit, but if they don't get the support through items or feats and just general upgrades while leveling, you can't really say anything until you knows that, right? So. She looks neat. I'll definitely be tossing her in my formation when she comes out, but I won't know exactly how effective she is until we get much further along. Did I lose? My champions disappeared. That's a fun bug. All right, let's get. Yeah, they're gone. All right, back to the other account. One day that'll get fixed. All right, so we're already up to 180. Let's see, we've got like 40 minutes. So that's not bad. 180 levels in about 18 minutes. So yeah, 10 levels a minute. Pretty good. All right. The other half of that question, what's your opinion of Penelope? Could she replace Zorbu due to her strength? No, she's not a DPS. She's a support champion. Zorbu's support DPS, yes, but he's a DPS champion. So I don't know that she will replace Zorbu in the sense that she becomes the new powerful DPS. But what she does is she puts a new support option in that slot that could be useful when you can't use Zorbu as a DPS. And at some point, Zorbu will get dethroned as the DPS of choice, and then you'll want an option in that slot to support whoever the new top dog is. In my time gate, I had Strix, Morgane, and Gem. I chose Strix. Was that the right choice? I mean, you already chose it, so don't even worry about it, right? Strix is cool. Keelik, Omen, or Wolfgar. I kind of want to say Omen because he does a little bit of everything. Wolfgar is really pigeonholed as a tank for the Companions of the Hall. You can use him for other groups, but he really only gets his maximum potential with the Companions. And Keelik is an interesting healer, but really wants the rest of the heroes of Erois, so if you don't have them, then Calliope, just standard vanilla Calliope, is probably going to be better, or Briv, right? So yeah, I would say Omen. How do you put your familiars out so fast? Is there a key to press? Shadowstorm, press F to pay respect. No, wait, to place familiars? Yeah, on PC at least. It brings up all these little white boxes, and you can place the familiars everywhere, or you can even then click on the red one and it removes them all at once. Bushwookie. Which do I choose for my time gate? Got Artemis, but I already have them. Birdsong and Black Viper. Birdsong, probably. Yeah, grab somebody that you don't have already. Sentry is the only good champ on my time gate this weekend, but she's coming up next week. Do I get her anyway? Ooh, that's a timely question. So here's the thing. If you there's people go back and forth on this. I kind of feel like yes. Because well, but yeah, there's pros and cons. So what would happen is if you do earn a time gate, if you're grabbing her time gate, you unlock her and you grab 3 chests right away. Like you'll get 3 gold chests out of that time gate, and a couple silver chests. So you'll be able to grab some gear, guaranteed gear right now. If you wait, what happens then is when she arrives in the event, you won't get to do her unlock mission, but that's fine. The big benefit to her unlock mission is just that it's basically a cheap free play for favor. You also won't have one of her variants available, which means one of those gold chests that you earned in the time gate was one for the variant. You won't have that available, but you also won't have to pay tokens to do that variant. So if you get lucky and it's the expensive variant, that's the 5,000 token variant, I feel like you come out ahead. But it is kind of luck. I don't know. I mean, if you already own the other champs and they aren't ones that you're in desperate need of gear for, I say grab her. Grab her and save yourself some time in the event. But, everyone's going to have opinions on that, probably different than mine. As a new player, do I choose Narak or Neris? Ooh. So Narak, the good point with Narak from a time gate is he doesn't need gear to do what he does. He just needs, it's his Gith's dry focus ability is what everybody uses him for, and it doesn't have item support. Neris would need items. So, yeah, there you go. Have any tips for using Binwin? I just got him on my time gate. Binwin's great for, I use him in my Mad Wizard gem farms because he's a multi-hit champion. And he likes to be around, be in the middle of a group. And as people around him attack quickly, he gets more attacks. So he just wipes out segmented health stuff like these fires that we're hitting here or any barricades. He just chunks through them. He's not necessarily the most powerful, but I use him a lot lately. Especially I run him with Esmeralda. And it basically just makes him even twice as chunky. But again, I have a lot of power supporting him, so I can use him for deep stuff where others might not. So, yeah. I was given a choice of Narak, Morgaine, and Walnut. How much did I screw up taking Narak? You didn't. There's no screwing up. From those choices, you're picking 3 supports or, well, one's also a tank. I mean, Narak's fine. Narak currently has use in Azaka farming formations, but I think we're only at 1 or 2 good gold find options away to remove him and not need him anymore. And then he won't have a whole lot of purpose. Have a couple niche uses in the game and that'll be about it. But not even, but again, it's like one ability that doesn't have support. It's odd. Should I buy the Pixie even if I have 4 familiars already? Yeah. The Pixie's only 10,000 gems? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Someone drop exclamation point GVA in chat. That's the gems visual aid. Kind of helps you out with questions about what to buy and whatnot. And did we mention yet that Penelope's coming to the game? I might be a little excited. I enjoy Silver and Steel. I am a week behind. Don't tell anyone. This week's been a week. I haven't just sat down and relaxed and watched D&D streams. That's going to be this weekend. But yeah, she's currently in Silver and Steel. And you see that the cloak that she's got on, one of the funniest things about Penelope is, she's small and she'll get into a situation where she's like, I want to hide. And then she just kind of drops down, crouches down and pulls the hood up over and just becomes a bush. She's just a little bush. It's hilarious. Too funny. I was kind of hoping that would happen in game, but we get the Chawinka mask instead. That's fine. When things get under attack, she puts her mask on. That works too. Let's see. Merrick the God, now that I have all my evergreens full epic, what would you recommend spending my gems on? Silvers or familiars? I mean, it depends on, again, go to the gems visual aid. It depends on which familiars you already have. If you've got the cheap ones that are and by cheap, I mean the ones that are under 100,000, then I wouldn't necessarily save up for more familiars. I mean, you could, but yeah, I mean, you can have full epic gear, but do you have all the gold, the gold chest feats yet? Like you might still want to be buying gold chests until you get all your feats. Also, can I start opening patron chests? Yeah, once that's kind of the big reason you push to get epics, full epics on your core and evergreen champions. So for anyone who doesn't know why people do that, since you're probably using lots of event champions, well, the point is, you're trying to pull them out of the epic pool from patron chests. So patron chests are very expensive. Regular gold chests aren't. So spend all your gems on regular gold chests, get full core and epic gear. Then open up patrons. Then you can start opening up patron chests and gearing up those event champions. The core and evergreens will still get like duplicate greens and blues out of those, but they won't get the epics, and all those epics will go to the people that you need them for. Timegate suggestion: more gain or Black Viper? More gain. More gain. Where does the blue click damage come from? So this is the snowball. This is the snowball. That was with kind of the announcement of Icewind Dale earlier this year. I don't know. Is there some other way to get it yet? Is it in the gem store? I don't know, because I have it on both my accounts. I don't know if it's like in the gem store or whatever. I don't know. Check. Go up here to the store. Go to gem items and see if it shows up here, because it was like a giveaway. I don't think we paid anything for it. Oh, I'm on the Penelope screen. Well, everybody loves Penelope. You can stare at Penelope. Okay, right here with the shop. Gem items. Look here. This is the snowball. There's also a green flame click, which I think this still works. This has worked. The code for this has worked in the last couple of months. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. Paulton or Morgaine. Ooh, either one. Honestly, Paulton's a good gold find champ, but also a good buffer, in my opinion. Morgaine steals your gold, but gives you buffs for it. Much further. She's much further down the line, though, so you probably get more. Paulton's a slot 4 champion. You might get more use out of him. Depends. Does the Chawinka mask buff not have a benefit for DPS characters? Oh, well, let's go take a look. Ching. Sits on her shoulder. That's Walton, by the way. I think I said that earlier, but they just kind of say, calling an elemental friend to her aid. It sits on her shoulder. It's Walton. Walton sits on her shoulder. I'm going to get angry about this. It's Walton. Yeah. So it's you don't necessarily put her next to your DPS because she's not buffing your DPS. She's buffing the tank champs. Or she's helping tank champs, she's helping support and healing champs and gold find champs. And this is actually a good thing because we have lots and lots and lots of support champions that want to be adjacent to the DPS. Penelope doesn't need to. That's actually a point in her favor. So she's going to buff the support people. Because see, it's like here. Penelope increases the damage of all champions. For each champion affected by this charm. So you basically just want to surround her with people. Like, get her friends around her. That doesn't have to be the DPS. It's everyone but the DPS. Yeah. So she's going to be, better in some formations than others. But that's like a lot of our champions. So. All right. Danuk, newer player, but I've unlocked every champ from the last 2 events. Solid. Frida's currently my main DPS. She's cool. Timegate gave me Keelik, Omen, and Wolfgar. Omen would give me a second character in a slot. I only have 1 character. Yeah, go Omen. Go Omen. No, yeah, I would still say go Omen. Like I said, Keelik's in a slot with Calliope, and honestly, early on, Calliope is fantastic, and there's no reason to get rid of her. And Wolfgar is going to not give you a better option. In slot 10, he's down here with Tyrell. Yeah, Tyrell's better. So, yeah, grab Omen and take 1 step closer to multi-party and Modron automation. Can Stokey or Freely be used well in a Zaka farm? So here's the thing. Stokey is in the slot with Jarlaxel, and she does not give you better gold than Jarlaxel. So you want Jarlaxel in there. Freely though, Freely's down here. No one else in his slot is a gold. Well, Caddy gives you like a 2x gold, and it's not enough. Freely's the solid, like kind of currently he's not crawl levels of gold find broken, but he's super strong in terms of gold find. So you definitely want to be using freely. So freely, but no to Stokie. You want Jarlaxel. When you use fire breath potions, does your base click damage matter at all? No. That's why when I popped that fire breath potion at the beginning of this run, I took the click damage off of the thing, because fire breath specifically, if we go up here, which one is it? This one. Adds 300 seconds worth of your bud to the base damage of each click. So it's basing my click damage now off my bud, which is this, right? And it's taking 300, it's giving me 300 seconds worth. And this bud number that's bouncing around at the bottom, that's what the 300 is multiplied by. Okay? Because that's my actual damage per second. So it's giving me 300 times that. So basically, add 2 more zeros on, and you're getting, what? I'm getting like a 6 EO5 click, or now 6 EO4, right? Like you're adding EO2 onto the end and multiplying the number by 3. Well, for an hour-long potion, right? So I don't need to change my click damage value at all, because I'm basing all of my click damage on my party's damage. I need 3 and 12, but didn't get either. So Barrowin, Nova, or Walnut. Ooh. Nothing jumps out at me there as like the absolute must-have choice anymore. Yeah, I mean, maybe Walnut. I like Walnut in this slot because you get a tank option here that you wouldn't normally get. Nova is... where? She's here. And kind of like, yeah, like if you've already unlocked Dragonbait, you have a tank option here. If you haven't unlocked Dragonbait, go unlock Dragonbait. Watch my show tomorrow morning. And Barrowin is with Tyrell. There's a lot going on in Tyrell's slot now. And Barrowin's just not currently, I feel. Well, I think Barrowin would be great with the right champions, and I think she's just missing 1 or 2 other champions to really synergize well with what she does. I don't think she's quite there yet. Artemis Dadiers or Neris. So lots of us in there. Probably Neris. Ayla or Wolfgar? Ayla. Hands down Ayla. I have to ask, why is Jarlaxel so OP? He's not overpowered. He has a niche, and he serves it well. He always ends up doing 100% of my damage in my 1 to 2 week-old account formation. Yeah. Early on, he is your DPS. He will fall off eventually. Make sure you pick up Hitch. All things equal, he falls off to Hitch in terms of damage, but can stay in because he still provides gold find for a while. And then eventually he'll fade out of your formation because he doesn't offer any buffs to the group. He is a selfish DPS. He wants to be the DPS. Otherwise, the only thing he gives is gold find, and it's not. So at a certain point, it's just not worth it to keep him in, even for the gold find. So as a new player, yeah, Jarlaxle is going to be your OP. That's just the way the game works. The game focuses. It works best if you're focusing all of the buffs in and onto one DPS character. And early on, the best person for that is Jarlaxle. Later on, it won't be that way. Kofinia. Paulton, Jaheira, and Wolfgar are my choices, but I have Wolfgar already. I may be a bit biased. I still prefer Paulton to Jaheira. Maybe I just haven't used Jaheira enough. Jaheira hasn't gotten me excited about putting her in a formation. Whereas I've used Paulton so much now over the years that I just know he works well. So I know where to put him. Midnight Griff, I've got Omen, Barrowin, or Cathris, but I already have Omen and Barrowin. Oh, no, you already have Barrowin. Is that the way I think I read? I think that's what it's supposed to mean. Leaning towards Omen? Yeah, I mean, Omen's solid. Yeah, I would go Omen. How many stacks do you have on Torragar now? I think I'm a little over 1 million. Would you say it's worth farming for the 2.5 million stacks, or just let it happen naturally? I mean, so I have him farming in my background party. If we want to take a look. I've got him sitting back here. I've just got these 6 people in, and they're just kind of getting him some stacks. We'll swap over there. I'm seeing in chat, Hitch's support, in my opinion. Well, Hitch's support or DPS. He doesn't have a DPS tag, but yeah, I'll go into that again in a second. Hold on. So I have a Torgar over here, and I don't bother. I put the familiars on the champions. Oops, that's not. Put the familiars on the champions, and then I don't use any on click damage or anything in my background parties, because the calculation is just determining whether you have enough power to kill 25 things in a minute. It doesn't care if it's coming from click damage or champions, so I just let it come from champions. It doesn't change anything. What's my Torgar at, though? Yeah, a little over 1 million. I don't know. I got up to the 250,000. Yeah, I got the 250,000 one, and then I was like, he can go in the background now. I'll get there eventually, but I'm not rushing it. I'm not rushing it. All right, let's hop back. And while it's doing that, let's go over here. So on my new player account, I guess I'm still at the start of an adventure, so I can't really point it out. But on my new player account, I have unlocked Dritz. Well, obviously I have Hitch. I unlocked Dritz, I unlocked Azaka, I unlocked Dragonbait. I'm on my way to Ulcoria. I've already pushed all the way through Waterdeep, down to Altardeep, and now I'm going back and I'm doing all the variants so that I can get Ulcoria. And I've done all this with starting off with Jarlaxel as my DPS, and then switching to Hitch. Hitch is my DPS. Hitch carried me through Dragonbait unlock. I mean, so saying Hitch is, Hitch can be a support. Yeah, he totally can be. And at a certain point, he will be. Oh my gosh, this formation. What did you do? Oh, this is horrible. Okay. I'm glad this is a time gate. Omen's formation is real bad for new players. But yeah, Hitch is an undercover DPS. He used to have the DPS tag. They took it away. They thought they made him fully a support, and they didn't. He's actually even a better DPS now than he was before. So, you don't have to use him that way if you don't want to, but it's totally possible, yeah, as a new player and as an experienced player, to use Hitch as your DPS. Oh, hey, they're back. All right, hey. Keep pushing. Oh, did we have... I was tempted to put in Melf and speed this up a little further, but I don't know that I have the gold for it yet. I think we're fine just using those champions. And we're already, what? Yeah, 37 minutes in. We didn't quite hold to that 10 per minute. It's slowing down a bit. Once I'm over level 400, I'm assuming in an adventure, my bud will occasionally spike by E to 5 to E to 10, and I'll cleave through 2 to 5 levels, and then will recede back, leaving me stuck till it spikes again. This causes me to only push when I spike. Do you know what causes this? Theo Strander, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you have Krull. Krull would do that. Alternately, what would happen... alternately, what also does that... Krull really does that. Krull really does that. Because that's how his plagues work. Like, basically, you're getting to a point where you can't kill everything right away, so his plagues build up, and then you kill something with plagues, and that spikes your bud, and you wipe everything out real quick. What also does that, to a smaller extent, is just the ramping buffs on tanks, right? So tanks get buffs, good tanks get buffs that increase all champ damage, or the champs in the column behind them, or whatever, some kind of directional buff to your DPS, based off the number of enemies that are attacking them or the number of enrage stacks on a boss. So, yeah, both of those things can cause your bud to spike up out of nowhere, and then give you some good progress, and then pause while you spike up again. So, yeah, that's pretty natural now, but it's incredibly exaggerated with Krull. But it can happen just with tanks. Sareth, I've already unlocked the second party and have neither of my options already, but know nothing about them. Toragar, Wolfgar, or Turiel? Ooh. So Turiel is a tank that isn't a tank. Turiel is a support character that you put in the tank column, and then they redirect all the enemies to the other tank in that column. Just kind of like, don't mind me, nothing to see here, move along. And then they buff based off the number of people moved. They also have a nice bonus against fiends. So they're really solid in the Descent into Avernus campaign. That's their big place to get used. Wolfgar is a companion of the Hall. He wants to be with that group. If you don't have that group, he's still okay, but he's not amazing. He's a tank as well. And then Torgar is a DPS support, but he's much better at support than he is at DPS. He does require some farming to really unlock all of his potential, which is what I was doing in my background party. So it's kind of, figure out what you need. Like, do you want another potential support option in that slot with Torgar, or do you want, because they're down here, Torgar, they're giving you the same slot in a time gate, Torgar and Wolfgar? That's weird. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, figure out what you want in this option. And then Turiel's slot 1. So, yeah. Alright, let's adjust the chair a bit. Slickshot, my first time gate is new player. My options are Briv, Warden, or Binwin. Briv. Yeah, definitely Briv. Briv's going to give you a decent, mid-game tank, early to mid-game tank, who's got some nice healing, but he's also a speed champion, so, you'll get it to a point where he can skip some levels for you. I think we used up all mine, yeah. So I skipped 46 levels early on in this adventure, which helps me complete it faster. But yeah, he's fiddly, but yeah, worth it. Sentry Regis or Black Viper? Sentry, in my opinion. Sentry's a tank, kind of a tank support with some speed. Oh, and I'm going to sneeze every time. Every time my nose itches. That's how I know. All right. So Sentry's a really good speed champion. She does need a lot of item support, right? Like she wants like certain items and it's like a specific item and lots of item levels or power on it. But she can still provide speed at random before she has all that item levels. Regis is a good second option, but I would still say Sentry. Black Viper, probably my favorite character in the game, just in terms of the story and the art and everything, but the kit just isn't super phenomenal currently. Melf for my Modron core, or Walnut for another tank option for the Marzavar account. Ooh. Melf. Yeah. Go get your Modron. Get your Modron on a new account. Because I feel like on a new account you've already got Niali and Tyrell as tank options, and I mean, sure, there are some 3 tank formations you might need like a Walnut for, but we're about to get Sentry in the event, so you can pick that up there. New player, unlock champs are Dinar, Esmeralda, and Avrin. Oh, that's who you already have already. Okay, solid. Okay, yeah, from the last event. Time Gate offers me Gromma, Warden, and Lazaps. Gromma. Grab Gromma. Gromma's a fantastic support. Can also sub in as a tank if necessary. But super, super solid. And she can be placed as a support. She doesn't need specific placement, which, having the freedom to put a support anywhere and have them still be great is something that just is really nice. You'll find is really, really nice, the further you go in. Warden's good as a debuffer, but, I feel like Gromma's a little better. Gromma does an AoE debuff. Warden has to hit specific things and stack it up. And Lazaps is cool, but very niche at the moment. The Kidius, you mentioned Mad Wizard gem farming. How do you do that? I mean, basically, you go to Mad Wizard and you put a formation in. Ideally, it would be made up of speed champions and some multi-hit champions. And you set it on an automated rotation like this. Like the reset area is some variable of 30. So 30, 80, 130, 180. Like, that's just because that's how the levels repeat, and the first 30 levels of Mad Wizard are the fastest. So you want to either end after 30 or 80 or 130 or 180 or 230, right? Et cetera, based off your kills or your click damage. So ideally, you're doing it in your active party, much like we're doing here, and you're flying through with clickers on the field, and the speed champions to help make you go faster through the run, and then the multi-hit champions to get you through things like this that are multi-hit barriers or bosses. And you just repeat that over and over and over again. That's a whole thing. Like I have a save formation, but it's in my other. Yeah, I can't even access it over here because this is a Mert run. So yeah, I would have to be out of this to show you exactly what my formation looks like. But yeah, that's basically Mad Wizard gem farming is how you, at a certain point, you need gems more than you need so that you can buy stuff. Because, you'll need that progress from gold chests or silver chests or whatever. Like at a certain point, that makes more sense to do, and you're going to get more power from that than, doing missions or variants. Has anyone else seen where a patron perk isn't saving? I have one for Mert and one for Straw that I have to re-choose every time. Sounds like a bug. You'd have to put in a ticket for that. I haven't seen that. Where did I get the Minsk and Boo skin? Where is it? This was probably from earlier. Oh yeah, that's he's in the Boo Kigurumi. It's pretty hilarious. I don't remember where that came from. It's been a while. I want to say Minsk is dressed up as Boo, and Boo might be dressed up as Minsk. I don't remember. It is super adorable. Who'd be best from a time gate, Black Viper and Rack or Briv? Briv, yeah. You want that speed. Let us see. We did not talk about Icewind Dale. We should go talk about Icewind Dale. So the newest campaign, Rime of the Frost Maiden, got a new little addition up here by Lonelywood. As we can see, the champions made their way up here, got a little lost, went in a circle, but finally made it up here to Lonelywood. So we got 2 new adventures and a variant for each. So Moose Tracks and Civilization. And then the variants were interesting. So this is an armored hit point creature that arrives in each area, and if it hits you, it gets to you and hits you, it hits you for half your health. So, problematic, right? So you want to be able to clear this out quicker than it can get to you. Which, again, like I said, I've been having a lot of fun with Esmeralda and Binwin in Icewind Dale because there is a lot of hit-based stuff like this, and that combination just chews right through them. And then Trenchcoat Run, which is a nice nod to the Trench Run, right? Trenchcoat Run is our much-awaited 3 kobolds in a trench coat variant. Originally, you'll see them here, but we get it here. Kobolds in a trench coat attack in each area. Once initially defeated, the kobolds spill out of the trench coat, creating 3 new enemies. They move 100 times or 100% faster when they're in their trench coat, but when they're out of it, they deal 300% damage. And then you have to have super dexterous champions to fight them. So pretty interesting. I did the base versions of these, and I'll probably start doing the patron variants probably on my channel in the future. But make sure you head up there. So we are moving a little further into Icewind Dale. I don't know. We'll see what else happens there. I know some people were disappointed that there were no more blessings there, but literally they only added 2 more adventures. Like, blessings are supposed to help you complete the campaigns, and I don't know. We'll get it eventually. Where are we at on the questions? Let's see. Hitch is a better DPS than Jarlaxel? Eventually. Again, there are power scales in this game, right? Like there's power curves, like someone may ramp up early and then plateau, and other people may do this and then come up and then maybe plateau there, and some just kind of go up permanently. Like, yeah. Just because you haven't seen it happen so far, that could be gear. That could be your favor. That could be your formation. Like, I don't know. There's lots of ways. How do you know when Hitch's curve kicks in? You just test it out. When you get to your wall, I mean, this is how you figure out everything. Like, we all figured this out over the years, not because we just looked at it and went, oh, we're super smart. No, we just tried it, right? Like, you get to your wall and you start fiddling with your formation. You start making changes. You move someone around, you try a different DPS, you give them some time, you give them some more gold to level them up a bit and see if they're comparable. And there is a point where Hitch's damage outpaces Jarlaxle. Do I know the exact gold find amount where that happens? No. Because to do that, I would have to assume like no gear on either of them or equal gear on either of them, and that's not how the game works. So you just kind of have to get to your wall and then try to move people around a bit. The Hitch Jarlaxle combination is great because Hitch buffs Jarlaxle early on, right, and acts as a support like he's supposed to, but eventually he just does more damage than Jarlaxle, and is especially helpful. I think Krull helps a lot. I think if you don't have Krull yet, if he shows up in a natural time gate for you, jackpot, pick him up. If he doesn't, your first manual time gate in this game should always be Krull currently. And once you get to the point where Krull starts doing his thing, Jarlaxle is not useful to you because Krull will stack plagues and those plagues will build up, but they build up on the champions that are on your tanks, and Jarlaxle is always attacking from behind. So Hitch will be attacking the people that Krull has debuffed and will just destroy them, and that's how you use champions together, right? So yeah, you got to pay attention to that. What good does the +1 dex feat do for Jamila? No idea. No idea. Probably qualifies her for something, but I don't know what. Like, it's not something I would ever memorize. Yeah. There's dex. So she's got a dex and a charisma one. What's it take her? A 14. She may qualify. She could qualify for somebody's buff. She could qualify for a variant. That's the way that works. Off the top of my head, I don't know. There are so many. The issue is there's so many variants in the game that there's like you can look it up. You'd have to go look it up somewhere. Like I can't memorize every single variant in the game and what each +1 feat qualifies them for. And there are also lots of buffs in the game now. We've got 70 champions currently in the game. Each of them has buffs, and some of them are based off stat scores like that. That's a lot of information. I just go look it up. Just started yesterday. Wow, welcome to the game. Been doing the first 3 missions and the submissions. Don't do the submissions. I don't even know what your question is yet, but I'm already going to tell you. When you come here, these are the base adventures. These are what you're talking about, like the base adventures. And then underneath each of these is what you call them submissions. They're variants. So they're variants on the basic adventure. When you first start the game, just do these. When you're just pushing through a campaign, until it tells you need to do more, complete more adventure variants to move on. Unless it tells you that, just do these. Just do these. Play each one of these and push deep and earn favor in each one. And then, so go past the completion point and earn favor. Ignore the variants starting out. They just slow down your progress early on. They're very difficult. You may not have any idea, like even when it shows as easy, they may not be. Are you chicken? The very first variant in the game, even when it shows easy, it's not easy. All of these ratings, these difficulty ratings, are based on the amount of favor you have in a campaign. But you then also have to take into account the fact that you're losing 4 champions from this formation, right? So it makes it even harder. So just skip the variants early on. I'm doing this on my Gaarawarr account, and it's fantastic. Progress is super fast. We're not missing out on anything. When we have to go back and do adventures, like do more variants to unlock evergreen champions, you do, and you pick you can cherry pick some easy ones. But more importantly, when you go back, you have tons of favor when you come back, which means you have all the power you need to just steamroll the variants. Whereas early on, they're going to just halt you in your tracks. So the question was, should I do other things or just keep doing that? So yeah, I guess I totally just avoided the question, but I guess I answered it too, because yeah, just do the regular adventures, push through the campaigns of doing the regular adventures. When it tells you need more completions to move forward, then just go back and do what look to be easy ones, like that say green, but also aren't like super restrictive, like Are You Chicken? And move forward, and you'll progress super fast. Like if we hop back over here real quick. So this is my new version. This is my new player account, but it's coming up on 2 months old now. So pushing through Sword Coast, we like our first goal was to unlock Dritz in Sword Coast, and that got us, all of these blessings. But then pushing through to get Azaka got us all of these, like just avoiding variants unless we had to do them, and then doing the same thing in Waterdeep. I'm maxed out there already, so it's super efficient to do it in this manner. So I definitely recommend it. Just focus on the adventures, focus on the story adventures, and just kind of ignore the variants early on. I'm expecting a manual time gate on the 16th. Do you recommend taking Krull despite his event being 2 1/4? Yeah. Just take Krull. Get him. The progress you get from Krull is... it's kind of hard to explain. He's like a 2-for-1, but it's almost... he almost double dips on himself because he gives you debuffs, which lets you do more damage to enemies. He also forces them to drop more gold. Well... that's where the 2-for-1 comes in, right? Because gold gives you power, but you're getting power from the debuff that lets you kill further in than you normally would. But the gold's also letting you level up your champions more, which lets you push further, which means you make more gold because you're killing higher level champions because they drop more gold, and then they're dropping even more because of Krull, and it's just this big cycle. And you make so much gold, and that means so much favor, and that means you max your blessings out like super fast, and it's just this big cycle. And starting off, he doesn't even need gear. He doesn't need gear at all. All he needs is his virulent strain feats. I'm gonna remove that familiar so we don't level him up here. I need to put them in. So you get this one default, Venomous Touch. That was from Azaka farming. So he starts out with Venomous Touch. The greens are the defaults. You just want to slot that one right away. This is Virulent Strain is the ability that makes Krull broken. Just broken, overpowered. And when you can get both of the Virulent Strain feats, it's just insane. But this one comes out of a gold chest, and it may take a while. So just slot this one, and if you unlock his second feat slot, then throw in Pain. Well, actually, you know what? Throw in Pilfer. Throw in Pilfer. Just get him all the gold fine if you have Pilfer. Otherwise, throw in Pain. Pain you get automatically. But yeah, start off with Pain and Venomous Touch, and he's just going to push super deep. For his spec, pick Pilfer. That's going to give him even more gold, and then you turn that gold into power. Yeah, he's just this champion that just feeds into himself. He doesn't have any requirements for like where he gets placed. He's not a tank, so that's the only thing. You don't put him up in the tank line. Yeah, he's super crazy broken. What? Where? Oh, okay. I got Morgaine, Korth, and Xander. Morgaine or Korth. If you can, Morgaine's deep in the lineup. That's why she's up here, and she's a swap with like Ayla. And Makos, Ayla, Morgaine. I say Ayla because I'm usually using Ayla. She's just super deep, and she's going to take some of your gold, so you got to keep that aware. Whereas Korth is down here. He's a slot 2 option. He's going to give you some like minor shields, and he's going to give you he's going to speed up your basic attacks in some cases, very situational cases. Give you some buffs. Kind of, pick what you want. Does Zorba's lifelong enemies kill count increase if he runs in the background party? Yeah, it's just not as effective as farming him in the foreground party. It's the same with Torgar. I have Torgar in the background doing that same thing. It's slow. What'd you say are the top 3 feats to buy with gems? Oh, no idea. Here's the problem. I have no way to know where they come from once I buy them. So I would have to go look at every single guide for every single champion and then try to make like a feat tier list, and then it would be highly subjective. So I don't know. In general, my recommendation is when you get to the point where you have like full epics on your core and evergreen, and your gems don't need to always go into gold chests, then start looking at the champions that you're using regularly and see which ones have feats that that makes sense for you to buy with gems. Like at that point, you should be able to make that kind of educated choice, right? Like if I come over here, here's increases the charisma score of Benwin. Don't care. Don't care at all. I don't know that I need that at all for him, right? Increases Regis' Ruby Invigoration ability by 30%. Don't care. Regis' healing is kind of pointless most of the time. Ruby Reflection is pretty cool, but 50,000 gems cool? Probably not. Not for me right now, because I've already got it like, I don't know. I've got double encouragement, like the 40 and the 80. I'm happy with that. This one would be nice, sure, but like it would make a sick debuff, but 50,000 gems worth? There isn't any content for me that I'm being withheld from finishing with the way he is right now, and this is another judgment call you have to make, right? So that's not worth 50,000 gems to me. But if there was something, like if I went to go do something, and like there are cases where those stat buffs make sense to buy, right? Because if you go to do a patron and the qualification for that patron, and they're one off of it, and they've got a stat buff feat, that's worth going to get potentially, right? So that you can have that option in your patron runs. Yeah, someone may have created a guide. Like I know there were some feat tier lists a long, long time ago. I don't know if they've been updated at all. But you might want to look in that. That's a lot of work. I have too many guides. I'm not making one of those. I have like 80 guides that I've got to keep updated already. And that goes up every event because there's another champion every event. I made bad choices. My type gate options are Gromma, Sentry, and Warden. What would you recommend? Either Gromma or Sentry. I like Gromma as the debuffer. But Sentry's a good speed champion, just not right away. Gromma's a good debuffer right away. So out of a time gate, probably Gromma. Sentry's coming up in the next event. You can grab her then. Can you give advice for a beginner player in the time gates? I've croned Omen and Keelek. Omen. Yeah, Omen would be the better option there, in my opinion. I can never remember where he is. Oh, slot 3, yeah, because I just picked him. Yeah. Omen. The issue is you're going to need, you're not going to use him a whole lot, A, because you're getting him in a time gate, and he's not going to have a lot of gear. But B, he's also where one of your primary tanks is as a new player, so... but I would still pick Omen. Because he's going to give you a swap for that slot that'll help you out that'll get you on your way to multi-party and mode drawn automation. Strix, Saxaspia, or Korth for relatively new account. Ooh, either probably on a time gate. Korth or Strix, your choice. Korth is early on, so a newer player could actually get Korth on the field. Strix is later on, like slot 11, so that may not be an option for you. Saxaspia is slot 1, but she's a super situational champion. I like her. I like her a lot. But only when she's in her niche, and a new player's probably not going to know when that is. So she'd probably underperform for you. Which multi-hit champs are best to use when farming gems? I mean, you have Hitch, right? Because we should. You should have Hitch already, so Hitch is one. You could slot all of his extra dagger stuff and just have him throw in all the daggers. I use Benwin, I use Farida, and I use Birdsong as my multi-hit champions. But that doesn't mean you necessarily have to go get those champions. Anybody that has multiple hits is useful. I just picked those because they have... either super fast attack speed, like Birdsong has multi-hit and fast attack speed. Farida has lots of multiple hit, like, throws multiple fireballs out. Benwin, it depends how many times he hits, but it's usually a good amount. And then Hitch can throw bunches of daggers out, and they have a chance to ricochet and bounce around up to 5 times each. So he's the real powerhouse, but a potential powerhouse, but everyone else is kind of just supporting him. Oh, and I kind of this is kind of my wall for my first run, right? I just go until the potions run out. That's how I decide. I didn't hit a wall. I didn't hit an actual wall, but that gave me a ton of favor, right? Like I've got E16 favor. Obviously, this is not a new player experience, but I got E16 favor, and now I've got to get to 125. on this next one, so I just do the same thing. And I throw the same hour-long potions out. So I went Giant Strength, I went Clairvoyance, I went Fire Breath, and I went Speed. I did that backwards, but you know what I mean. I can take that off, and I can just fill out all the things again. It's just that now I can do them all right at the beginning. And I have so much favor that they just fill right up. Boom, boom, boom. Was that everybody? That was everybody. All right, now I just got to get them in the right places again. So that was there. That was there. I think she was down one. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. There. That works. I should probably just save this as like a speed. Yeah. And I'll race through the same way with this one. And then there'll be one more left. And that's the variant. I only have to get to 125 there, so that's super easy. I'll push deep again. Like I said, I put an hour potion for a reason. I'll push deep again here on the run I'm currently on. But then on this one, I'm just going to do 125 and then I'm going to bounce. And then I'll close that time gate and I'll have been done in like 2.5 hours. Time gates are super quick when you've got a lot of power. So all champs damage, those global blessings and those global perks and your Modron core, all of those pillars of progression let you just burn right through this stuff super fast. Whereas over on my new player account, we got past 50 in the same amount of time. Granted, I haven't been over here like actively participating. But we have been progressing, so it's been doing its thing. But this is just what it looks like when you have none of, like a lot of those pillars of power you don't really have. It's good that we actually blew right through 50, so I have enough power from things that I could do that without having to be here for it. That's a good sign. But I don't know how far I'll get on this first push. I'll want to try to get, ideally I'll get to 100. This completion I only need to be 50 and then 75, but Fortune favors the bold once 175. So I'm going to have to push to my wall on this first run, on this newish account, and then again on the second run so that I can make sure I can clear 175 when I do this variant easily. So I'm probably going to want to try to get past 200 on this run if possible. If I can't, I may have to go do a free play because this is 175 and it's got some interesting rules. So whenever a champion kills a non-boss enemy, the base stat cooldown of champions adjacent to them is reduced. So that's nice. That makes you attack faster. But whenever a champion attacks but does not kill a boss enemy, the enemy moves faster and deals more damage. So yeah, this is a problem. You want to go into this one with a lot more power than you would normally go into just a regular run. So I need to be able to clear 200. I need to know that I can clear 200 before I attack this. Or it will wreck me as I get to my wall. Super hard wreck me. All right. On my first push in an event, is it better to spec Crawl Pain or Pilfer? On this account, this is my Mars War account, so this is my simulation of a new player. This is less than 2 months old. I only ever spec Crawl for Pilfer when I'm actually trying to get favor. When I'm doing a variant, and I already know I have enough favor to complete the variant, then I stack Pain because I just want to get the variant done quickly. I don't care. I'm not pushing for gold. But when I'm actually doing a run where I'm trying to get gold, I slot Pilfer. I choose Pilfer for Crawl. Because early on, you need gold. Gold gives you power. Gold lets you push further. And if you push further, you make more gold. It's this circle of loot. The circle of loot. Yeah, Crawl just epitomizes that. So Pilfer. Do you know the formula for gold increase per level, ignoring gold fine? No, but Ridge probably does. There's probably a link in the Discord. If you go to the Discord, ask for a link to Ridge's spreadsheet. It's probably in there somewhere. I don't memorize things like that. I don't really care. I guess. I don't know. None of that really affects how I play, so I don't make a point to memorize that kind of information. I have a shiny on a level 3 green for Sentry. Will the shiny remain when the item upgrades to blue and purple? Yep, because the shiny wraps around the entire slot. It doesn't just go around like an item. I can demonstrate this better on my advanced account because I don't have any shinies on that account. But as you can see here, the shiny wraps itself all around the box. It's that white line around the whole item slot, and applies to all rarities. And it does the same with golden. This is the gold line around the box. So item levels and guild is what we've used to refer to shiny and golden. Item levels and guild stay with the item regardless of what rarity is. So as you level it up, all those things stick around. That's kind of the beauty of progression in this game, is that, you know, none of those duplicates you're getting when you're opening boxes are wasted because they're all adding item levels, and those item levels stick around forever. I noticed you don't have a familiar on the click damage. Do you not increase this? Is it better to increase the characters instead? So specifically, I don't have one because I'm using a potion of fire breath. So the potion of fire breath is providing my click damage. So there's no need to waste... Oh, touch my nose, numb to sneeze. Every time. There's no need to waste gold on upgrading this. Because I'm just going to be using, just because of the way I did this run, I'm using Fire Breath to do the click damage to my wall. Normally, I just level up click damage. Like if I'm not going to use Fire Breath, then I would be leveling up click damage. And you level that up to the point where like this level and the level you're on are the same. Like you would level this as much as you can, but then once you get to the point where your level is higher, like, hold on, just so you understand how far I could have leveled this. It's kind of a bad explanation when it's not leveled up. So right off the bat here, like if I stop right here, I know I can go to level 137 in this adventure and have click damage still work. That's how you figure this out. You look at whatever your level is. So once I get to 137, if this isn't green, if I can't level it up to 138, and then I complete 137 and move to 138, well, there's no real... Now I'm kind of behind the curve. Click damage will work for a little bit longer, but it won't be as effective, and at that point, there's no point in putting more money into click damage. But because I'm using a Fire Breath Potion, there's no point in putting any into it at all. Because the Fire Breath Potion is basing its damage off of the champion damage, so you just invest into your champions and go from there. Sibco 81, Beetle, Evelyn, or Black Viper. So it's Beetle and Grim. So you get two champions in one. And that's what I would choose. Yeah. Because you get a DPS out of Grim, and you get a support out of Beetle, and you actually get, out of Grim, you get a debuff too. So he actually ends up being a super strong debuffer, even though he's a DPS champion. So yeah, there's a lot of utility there. From the original champions, isn't Delana a better DPS than Jarlaxel? She works better for me and does AoE damage, but people consider her as a meme champ. Why? Because of what I was saying earlier. Hitch. Hitch, where is Hitch? Here. Hitch swaps with Delana. Well, and Delana is a pure DPS champion, while Hitch is a support. Hitch supports Jarlaxel and makes Jarlaxel usually better early on. Now, eventually you will get to a point where Jarlaxle isn't doing anything for you but giving you gold fine. At that point, you know, you could swap Delana in, but then you've got Delana and Jarlaxle, because Jarlaxle's only giving you gold fine. Delana would be giving you damage, but it's going to depend on your gear as to how much damage she's giving you compared to Hitch, right? They both get their gear out of gold chests, silver and gold, regular silver and gold chests, so their gear should be roughly equal, or something's gone horribly wrong. And Hitch just scales better, even as a support, because Delana wants to be behind all the champions. She wants to be in the very back row. She can do some stuff further up, but to really maximize her, she wants to be all the way in the back. And early on, the champions that you have won't buff her that way, right? Like Calliope wants to be behind someone, and you have Nayeli as your tank, so that means your DPS needs to be in the second row. So she's just not as optimal. She gets memed on because she was the very first champ to have a swap, which was Hitch. And that basically Hitch benched her, and she never came off the bench because Hitch was just good at everything. Yeah, so that's why. Golden Tresses. Greetings, Gaarawarr. I'm new here and just started playing recently. My time to get options are Zorbu, Briv, or Ayla. Ooh. That probably brought some consternation in chat. I'm coming to it a little bit behind. There are going to be a lot of people who are like, Zorbu! Zorbu's the best DPS champion in the game. Grab him! But you're brand new, so you'd never actually get to use him. One sec. He's a slot 12 champion, which means he's all the way at the end of the roster, and he's super expensive to bring in. He's all the way down here. And he needs a lot of levels to compete with whoever your actual DPS champion is before that. So getting him as a brand new player, I wouldn't necessarily recommend. Briv is a decent option early on. He's down here. He swaps with Calliope. The issue is you're not going to have a lot of gear on him. So I don't know how well he'll compete with Calliope, but he is a good grab to have early on and gives you another option as a tank early on. Ayla is down here, swaps with Makos. Ayla can be a tank or a support. You should be able to get to Makos pretty easily, and she gets her stuff pretty quickly. Wow, yeah, that's rough. And she doesn't necessarily need gear either. So the fact that I'm stuck here means that you aren't going to make a bad choice. You aren't. Zorbu, Briv, or Ayla. You're not really going to make a bad choice. I think they're all good choices. They're just good in different ways. I think you'd probably get more use early on out of Briv or Ayla. It's going to take you a little while to get some use out of Zorbu. So yeah, I don't know. Warrior Dice. There were probably lots of very strong opinions in chat, but I think those are all for a new player. I think those are all good choices. I think you kind of hit the jackpot, and the problem is now, but which jackpot do I want? Yeah, they're all pretty solid. Korth is typically my best in slot for number 2. Is that your experience? No, but that's fine. Everyone's experience can be different because it's going to be based off your gear, right? So champions can be different based off the type of gear you have. They can be based off what feats you've unlocked for them. It can be based off what other champions you're using in your formation that might make them better, right? Yeah. Slot 2 is pretty competitive, except for Kreidel. Sorry, Kreidel, but yeah. Yeah. Slot 2 is a pretty competitive slot for what the champions there offer, except for Kreidel. Why is Hitch stronger than Jarlaxel? I think I've gone over this multiple times. He just is. His curve is better. Like his curve kicks in later than Jarlaxel's and continues longer. Jarlaxel's done early. He also attacks things that are building up on your tank, and Jarlaxel doesn't. So your tank will die super fast with Jarlaxel because Jarlaxel isn't helping your tank out. He's busy backstabbing the back enemies, and he doesn't care that your tank is getting overrun. And Hitch has better wave clear. Jarlaxel stabs one. If he kills it, he'll stab again. But Hitch is throwing multiple daggers, and they're bouncing around, and yeah. And then Hitch is just is a good support too. If you're a champion, if your other DPS, if your next transitional DPS can be supported by Hitch, he stays in. I have almost 10,000 gems. I was thinking about getting the 10k pet. Yeah, do it. Drycon. Yeah. Grab the pixie. That's the second familiar. Then you'll do a setup like I've done over here, where you'll have I had the mage hand when I start on my click damage to help me level up to start, and then I put the pixie out, and then I'll transition both of them onto the field for a short period of time, which we're way past, and then I will move them both down here, to roam on my ultimate bar. And that's how you do that. But yeah, it allows you a little more AFK ability, which just, it's like a quality of life thing. It's much more enjoyable to not have to sit there and level and just be like, oh, I've got to pay attention every second and stuff. It's going to be better for you if you've got 10k gems. You've probably got at least blue gear on everyone. So yeah, once you have at least blue gear on everyone, I think it's fine to drop 10k on your pixie. I haven't figured out exactly when I want to buy I'm saving up for Armored Juniper now. I've got blue gear on everyone, and then there's a couple, at least one, like 1 to 3 epics on all my other core and evergreens, and I'm like, yeah, that epic isn't as useful to me as having, just in terms of quality of life, as having Armored Juniper. So I'm saving up for Armored Juniper. I'm a new player. Welcome, Level TV. Time guys, Evelyn, Sentry, and Walnut. I'm thinking of getting Evelyn just because she's from year 1 and I won't get her in the next Great Modron March event. What are your thoughts? I don't think you need to think about it that way. There's a big push from people who say, oh my god, if you see a year 1 champion, grab it. Well, no, your natural time gate's going to always offer you a year 1 champion now. Just always. The natural one always will. Now what you need to look for is that year 1 champion useful? Evelyn's a great tank, but she's in a slot with Krull, and Krull is the number 1 champion you want. You want to get Krull as soon as you can get Krull. And once you have him, you'll only use Evelyn in variants where you can't use Krull. That's just the reality of the game at the moment. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily... Evelyn isn't someone that if on my new player account, if she popped up, that I would grab right away, because I wouldn't actually use her because I have Krull already. Whereas Sentry's going to be useful to you forever and ever and ever as a speed champ. She's always going to be a swap that you can bring in to help speed things up. She's also going to give you a tank option early on. She's going to be slot 4. So an early tank option to go with Nayeli. If you want to use Tyrell in his Moonbeam form instead. Yeah, I think Sentry is the better choice there. I don't get Regis's Ruby Invigoration feat. Ruby Invigoration buffs healing and Companions of the Hall Goldfine, but the feat only buffs healing. Should it not affect both if it buffs Invigoration? No, they get to choose. They can choose with the game what they want. They're not going to buff Goldfine by some outrageous amount for Regis with an item. They're just going to buff his healing. That's just what they've chosen to do with it. How do you know what's the next event and when it'll happen? I've been playing the game for 3 years, first of all. But also, if you come over here to events in the achievement tabs and you hit collapse all, at the top, we have the ones that have happened most recently. So we just ended Liar's Night. Before that was High Harvestide, Bright Swords, etc. All the way at the bottom is the next one. So that's Feast of the Moon. If I open this up, Gromma was the year 1 champion, so she's not going to be in the event. An event only has the newest champion plus the champions from the most recent 2 years. That's going to be Vlanya Umvarar, a character portrayed by Satine Phoenix, and Sentry. Sentry Rhiannon Gower's champion. Somebody in chat tell me. I feel so bad. I don't watch the Heroes of Eros as much as I would like to. I want to say that's Rhiannon's champ. There's going to be some Heroes of Eros fans in here. They'll correct me in chat. Anyway, so we're getting Sentry and Vlanya and Penelope Halfpint, portrayed by the wonderful Hope Lavelle. So those are going to be our 3 champions that are coming up. I'm correct. Yay! I'm correct. It is Rhiannon's. Okay, cool. Now I don't feel bad. All right. Hagar. Hey, Zephnin. I have Strix, Jaheira, and Turiel on my time gate, but I already own Strix and Turiel. Should I gear up what I own or unlock Jaheira? Ooh. I mean, I guess it depends on how, like, what kind of gear you're looking for Turiel or Strix. Like I said, I think Turiel has a really good use case scenario in Descent into Avernus. So if you're doing a lot of stuff there, being able to turn that 3-tank front line into a 2-tank front line by putting Turiel there can be super useful, but only if you have decent gear for him. If you're kind of in the collection phase where you just want to grab all the champs, then grab Jaheira. But otherwise, yeah, I think Turiel's got a good use case. Strix, not as much anymore. She comes in certain places, and I think she gets used like an in-game click debuff now for some people. So, there's an argument for that, but I don't really do that. So yeah, I look for usefulness in variants because I don't care about clicking to 1,000. I don't need to get there for anything. Yeah. Should I try split the party as soon as I have enough champs? Yep. Yeah, Rambler goodness. And as soon as you have enough champs, you should be able to beat it. Honestly, it's not super hard. This in terms of, okay, it's challenging in terms of you need to go in with a plan and you need to understand how it works so that you can effectively play through it without gimping yourself. But it's not, oh my God, super difficult. And if I don't get the right champions, I'm screwed. It was originally. When we alpha tested this, oh good lord, there were testers, like in the closed testing group for multi-party and motor animation. There were testers who couldn't beat that mission, just flat out couldn't beat it, and had to have it flagged by the devs as completed just so that they could test multi-party and Modron. It was hard. The level up on like the ramping health was outrageous, and yeah, it was hard. Now, pretty straightforward if you go in with a plan. So yeah, do it right away. I'll be doing that on the Mars of War account soon because, well, the event comes out on, oh geez. So I just picked up Omen, so that's slot 3. The event comes out on Wednesday, which means I'll pick up Sentry on Wednesday. And then, so Thursday morning on my Mars of War challenge stream, which starts at, oh man, I'm bad with time zones, 10 a.m. Pacific on my channel, twitch.tv/Gaarawarr down below. I'll probably do split the party on my brand new account. And I will be hitting it with the minimum, well, not the pure minimum of 24, but a pretty minimal roster of champions. So if you want to see how that works, join me on Thursday. So as a new player for Timegate, should you do that variant? Oh, the variant option that you get? Yeah, you always want to try to. I mean, there's no reason to go into a Timegate and only grab 2 of the 3 guaranteed chests. Because here's the thing, if you complete these first 2 areas easily, great. If you feel like, oh, this one's super hard and I can't beat it, well, that's what the free play's for. You can play a free play free, and you hop into the free play, you push super deep, you get a bunch of favor. If you're still not, oh my, I just saw something new that I hadn't seen before. We have to talk about new stuff in the game. I almost forgot. So if you can, once you can get in a free play past, like, if whatever the goal here is, then you can try it again, because in a time gate, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Except for time. And you have 3 days, you have 72 hours, to do it in from the time you open it. So yeah, there's no reason not to try to like upgrade and try to get this done. I was just noting, this says high stereo reach during this time gate, 522. I have not seen that before. Either I haven't been paying attention or that was a sneaky little addition. But that's neat. So this will help you kind of judge, like, how far have I gotten? And then I look at this and it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not there yet. So now it's time to do a free play and try to push this up until this looks easily completable, right? The other thing I forgot, we kind of hinted at it earlier. Sean leaked this morning. At first he was like, ooh, there's something real fun that community's been requesting a lot, and Gaarawarr is probably going to talk about it in the show. And I'm like, Sean, this week's been a week full of teased information and anticipation in the worst possible way. Don't do this to me. So he just flat out leaked that dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, well, that's the wrong core. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. There's a Modron layout manager now where you can save or load or clear your Modron cores. hey, I probably should do this on the other one because I don't trust that it won't, it's a brand new feature. This is much easier to rebuild. So let's save this. Hey, save as automation. Boom. Hey, all right. So I've got my automation core. And now I'm going to hit clear. Boom. Clears it all out. And I can start from scratch. And then I can just go load up my automation. And look, oh, it's got a nice little picture. It shows that this is where the pipes were. Boom. Hey, we did it, folks. We did it, folks. Yeah, this is on Steam. I cannot speak to... This is the current Steam build. I can't speak to any other platforms yet. But know that the current build, when it goes out to other platforms, does apparently have a Modron layout manager in it. Oh boy, that's so nice. That's so nice. Because over here... you know, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm going to save. Full epic. Save. Hey. Oh, and that's neat. It's got like little pictures and that's cool. I don't know that that's 100% accurate, but we'll have to test that later. But as long as it saves it, man, I'm so trusting. I should not be this trusting. Hey, okay. Hey, it worked. Good. That would have been rough. But no, I actually have a lot of fun. I cleared this out completely not too long ago and then repiped the whole thing on stream so people could... So I could walk through like the process. It takes a little over an hour to go through a full piping to get full epic. But I talked about like building buff boxes and stuff, and we'll probably hit that up again on a future stream, like maybe one of the Gaarawarr guides on Saturdays or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll go into just talking about the pipe game now that there's a layout manager. That's a big deal, folks, because there are times where, you know, like you want to be able to experiment, but you don't want to remove necessarily what you have. Well, now you can save your original and then you can clear out and then you can retry something and then go from there. And that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Okay. Back to questions. What do we got? How much time we got left? Coming up on it, folks. 20 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun talking about a new friend called Penelope Half Pint coming on Wednesday. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm super excited. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be super cool. I'm trying to balance my excitement. Am I more excited for Penelope or Walton? 50-50, maybe. Maybe we get... can we get a Walton familiar? I guess we kind of already have a Chawinka out here, but we need, like, specifically Walton. But how would you tell the difference between just a regular Chawinka and Walton? Like, without hearing his voice and his attitude, I don't know how you would. Why go deep into the second run? Why not, Master Burglar? Basically, there's two things. There's two reasons why I want to push deeper, right? So, first off, in time gates specifically, and we talked about this in Gaarawarr's Guide to Time Gates and Combat, which was a deep dive stream a few weeks ago. You can find it on the YouTube channel. One of the things that you get from time gates are silver chests for the champion that you're doing a time gate for. So we went to level 522 on that first run. I got a silver chest for every unique 100 levels. So I got one for 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So on this second run, I'm going to push deep again because I know that my current max level is 951. That takes a ton of work. I'm not willing to do it in a time gate, but I know that I can probably easily clear 700. So I'm going to do another deep run, and I'm going to grab a couple more silver chests because this is how I get item levels for champions, right? So that's why I'm going to do my second run as another deep run. I do the first one somewhat deep, but not to my wall because it takes a lot of kind of work to push and time to push to all the way to your wall when you're starting off with 0 favor. But the second run makes it easy because I already grabbed a ton of favor on that first run. And I can just cruise right through some super high levels on my second run. And I'll soft cap the champions at some point probably, and I'll push, closer to my wall. Like I said, I'll push probably over 700. I won't bother with 800. And then And then I'll close that and I'll go do the variant and I'll peace out on the variant super easy because I don't want to push on the variant because that's got super restrictive rules about it. So it's going to be difficult to push deep. And I don't want to do another free play at the end because why not just use the time that I'm already pushing on this second run as a free play? It is effectively a free play. There are no restrictions on it. So it is, for all intents and purposes, my second free play. How many potions do you have? A lot. A lot. I mostly use them on stream or on deep runs, and I don't really do deep runs anymore because I have more than enough favor to do all the things, right? So I don't know. I mean, I've completed all the base adventures and variants in the game, and I've completed all now. Well, they just added some Icewind Dale content. So those last 2 variants on Icewind Dale I need to do for Mert, and I need to do them for Vajra. But otherwise, I've done over 150 of the patron variants, and coming up on that for Strahd. There's only like 2, I think, for Strahd that aren't doable currently, and that's Show of Strength and Prisoners of Loth. They both require you to have high strength champions that also have high intelligence, and they just don't exist in the game. So I don't have any reason to get more favor because I can already complete all the content in the game. So all my potions stack up. Is there a beginner's guide for figuring out your champions and what to choose for them? No, but there are guides to each champion on Reddit from multiple people. Myself and others have made guides for each of the champions that explain like all the things the champions do and show you the level upgrades. I don't tell you how to use them. Some people tell you how to use them, because one of the great things about this game is sometimes if you don't get stuck in a mindset of this is how you use this champion, then something might occur to you that didn't occur to somebody else. And suddenly, emergent gameplay happens where we're using champions in unique and interesting ways. So I don't go and tell people this is how you have to use this champion, and this is the only way to use this champion. Sometimes, but for the most part, I try to be open-minded. I don't put that in my guides, but I try to give you tips and stuff in mine. But yeah, it's just basically we try to present you with the information about a champion and let you make informed decisions about what you're doing with your gameplay. That's going to help you out the most in the long run. What level would hitch out damage Jarlaxel? You keep asking me this. I don't know. Depends on gear. Go figure it out. That's what I'd have to go do. So why do I have to do it when you could do it? Kron, Omen, or Vlanya? Vlanya's coming in the event. Kron's a bit of a waste because of Krull, like you said. Omen. Yeah, I would say Omen. What is your thinking about Zorbu when in-game? I hadn't developed him really and wonder if he's of any use for what's left. Only 5 Strahd variants. If you've done all but 5 Strahd variants without using Zorbu, that's pretty solid. I mean, Zorbu's currently Zorbu will provide you, unless you've gone whole hog on some, like dumping all your blacksmith contracts into a specific DPS champion of your choice. All things equal, Zorbu has the most damage at in-game. But he's not necessary. There are cases where you would need to make up a lot of damage on a subpar champion. And maybe that's what you've done. But I do a lot of stuff without Zorbu. It's just that he's so strong that he's a solid crutch for people who just need power out of champions because they don't have it from somewhere else. Barrowin or Rosie in a time gate? Barrowin. Neither of them get a whole lot of use currently in formations, but Barrowin's more useful than Rosie currently. Angie Chakoti, hey, good evening. I'm new to the game. Welcome. For the time gate choice, Black Viper, Lazaps, or Narak? Ooh. Narak, because Narak doesn't need gear to do what he does. And specifically what he does is buff other champions if they qualify for his Githzerai focus. You can talk in the Discord or on Reddit about specifically use case scenarios for him, but yeah. Because you're not going to get a lot of gear out of a time gate, Narak's going to be more valuable out of those choices. And for the other one where I got Averin, Esmeralda, and that's the last event, right? Stokey Melford, between Stokey Melford, I'm so confused right now. If you're choosing between Stoky, Melf, or Black Viper, you want Melf, even if you can't use them yet. Stoky's nice early on if you want someone that you can use right away. But I would say bank Melf. He's slot 12, so you won't get him out right away. Can you increase the gear rarity by opening chests? Yes. Yeah, that's how you do it. So, you know, you have a chance. In a silver chest can drop white, green, and blue gear. There's no real rules about how they're going to drop that, though, so it's just kind of random. And blue is the rarest of drops. White is obviously what you're going to see the most of, and then you'll see some green, but blue is a little bit rare unless you're opening tons and tons of them. Gold chests drop green, blue, and purple gear, though. And there's rules around gold chests. Gold chests are always going to drop an upgrade. So they're always going to drop an upgrade, and there's always going to be a blue item. Those aren't necessarily going to be the same, though. So you might get a green upgrade because you had a white previously, or nothing in that slot, and it's going to give you a green, and then you'll get a duplicate blue. Or you're going to get a blue. There's no rule about the purples, though. Purple is just your luck. It could be your upgrade. And then there's a pity timer on that. So just for gold chests. So after 10, if you haven't got an epic piece of gear out of it yet, not an epic consumable, but an epic piece of gear, you'll get one on the 10th. But just keep in mind, you know, you're going to get lots and lots and lots of regular silver chests and regular gold chests, but, you know, specific champion chests, you're going to get fewer of those. So, you know, they're harder to raise those rarities on. In the next time gate, should I get Deacon or fill the remaining slot 10 champ to get Modron automation? Oh, for like a manual time gate is what I'm guessing. I would pick up someone in slot 2. Well, I mean, you're a newer player, so you're probably not up for Alcoria yet. But I mean, I don't remember how I don't remember if you've even touched Tomb of Annihilation yet. But Alcoria is an evergreen champion that you can just pick up for free by working through Waterdeep Dragon Heist. But I don't know if you're close enough to really put it off for that. So you might just want to pick up somebody here, someone else here, like Gaarawarr, maybe. And then get Deacon on the next one. I like Deacon for speed. He was my second choice. I went Crawl. So my current recommendations are your first manual, or the first chance you get Crawl, and then the second chance you have an opportunity to pick, you know, a champion, get Deacon, and then the third chance grab Shandy. So I think the current top 3 is Krull is at the top, and then grab Shandy and Deacon after that, because Shandy and Deacon are speed champions. Krull's going to let you push like to level 3 or 400 just in your formation without gear. He'll help you get super high because of his ability to just stack debuffs and give you gold, right? And then you're going to need some speed champions to help get you to that new wall of 300 and 400 quicker, so you're not spending just all your time trying to get to your wall. Because that'll slow down your progress quite a bit. So, like, those are my first 3 recommendations now for champions. After that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm easily clearing level 400 in Tomb of Annihilation. I did that and unlocked Valindra with Hitch. So you don't need some super crazy event DPS to push past 400. You just need Crawl. And some supports, like, you know. But then I'm already doing that in Waterdeep again. So, yeah. I don't think you got to go whole hog into, like, Zorbu early. I think Crawl and then some speed champions to get you to your wall faster. And then you're going to just zoom through campaigns. And you can go from there. Are the year 1 character event achievements for completing all variants now unachievable? No, not at all. As I just showed earlier, you can do, like, one of the options here in a time gate is one of the variants. So, you know, it'll take 3 time gates. But, you know, if you've never done, if you just came in here and unlocked Walnut, let's say, you would unlock Walnut and then you'd get a random variant, and then you complete it. And then the next time you pull up a Walnut time gate, you're going to get one of the 2 remaining variants, guaranteed. And then you'll do one of those. And then the next time, the third time you come in to do a walnut time gate, you'll be guaranteed to get that third variant that you've never done. And thus you complete all 3 variants and get that achievement. So it's almost like they revamped time gates specifically with that in mind. How do you get the multi-party thing? Just have enough champions? Yeah, you got to have 2 champions, minimum of 2 champions in each slot. So if we go over here, right here, like once you have 6 slots where you have a swap, like where you have at least one other character here, you'll get this button that'll show up, and you can come over here and it'll tell you, hey, you've got to unlock a new party. You come over here and it says must have at least 2 champs in every bench slot. So this becomes then a goal of picking things up in time gates and events, right? Well, you're always going to pick up all the event champions, but for your time gate choices, you know, early on, sometimes, I mean, I think you grab Crawl first no matter what, but then, you know, start fleshing out for multi-party Modron. Once you have 2 in each slot, then you do this split, this will unlock, and you'll be able to do split the party. And your rewards are an additional party, a Modron core, and 4 Modron component chests, or not component chests, 4 Modron chests. They're what give you all the pipes. Hold on, I got to level this up. The other good thing about Krull is really this is as far as he needs to get in terms of levels. You get him to level 100, and he is powered up. Everything else is a bonus after 100. He just needs 100, and then he's got Virulent Strain, and then the game breaks. Basically, that's how Krull works. Is Modron Manager only on Steam? Probably. Steam usually gets the first shot at the release, and then I think after that it goes out to WebGL, and then they push it to all the platforms, like all the other platforms. So, you know, us people on Steam get to test and see if it's working and find all the bugs, and then they get to fix them, hopefully, before they push it out for all the platforms. I'm also a new player. When do we get to open the Modron? Oh, I think I just went over that. So it's you have to get enough champion swaps. I'm currently on the Cine Games playing Just Switch from Facebook. Will they then be able to switch to Steam? Like your account? I mean, you can play it on whatever platform you want, but you can't carry your progress with you. I didn't know it was on Facebook. Is that a thing? But yeah, there's no cross-platform account saves. So you'd have to start from scratch if you wanted to move to Steam. When you unlock a feat in a quest, I'm confused. Can we unlock feats in quests now? Do you permanently have that feat or for that mission run only? Yeah, I didn't know we unlocked feats in quests. Did we get something new that I don't know about? Or do you mean like when you unlock a feat slot? Maybe that's what you mean. Sorry. I'm confused. So when you're playing forward, like when you first get to a certain level, like there's a level requirement for getting a feat. Do I have somebody that I haven't done this on? Probably not. I think everybody's slotted with feats, unfortunately. So the first time you have to reach a certain level on a champion to unlock their first feat slot. When you do, that's permanently unlocked. And then their second feat slot has an even higher level that's much closer to their soft cap or over it. And then once you unlock that, that's unlocked forever. I think I hung up because you said in a quest, and I'm like, the game doesn't have quests. We have adventures and variants, and yeah. And suddenly I was like, did we get a way to actually hunt down certain feats? I was excited. I'm running Briv right now. If I recall correctly, you said wait till the end of the time gate to open all the silver boxes first before. Oh, God, no. Not in a time gate. It doesn't matter. So first of all, the order of operations you open your chests in, whether you open silver or golds first, only matters if you're worried about your collection. But you get so few pieces of gear, or so few chests out of a time gate that it doesn't matter. If you really want to wait, yes, you would. The order of operations is silvers first and then golds. But when you're only talking about a handful of chests, it doesn't matter. It's when you're talking about like dozens and dozens of chests that it helps you to flesh out your collection. Asking for a friend. They got Birdsong, Omen, or Vlanya as a new player for their time gates. Probably Omen. Omen or Birdsong, but probably Omen. I mean, Birdsong's a neat DPS and support option, but I don't know. I'm feeling Omen right now. Is Paulton any good? Yeah. Yeah. He's a trade-off. So, like, Jarlaxel is gold find only. That's all he offers your team. He offers no buffs other than gold find. Paulton offers less gold find than Jarlaxel, but also buffs your team. So he's a nice middle ground, right? He's that cool option that gives you a little bit of both. Freely, Korth, or Gromma for the time gate. Ooh, probably Freely. But Gromma's not bad. But Freely has a lot to offer right now and is pretty strong. What's the crawl changes? I don't know. Were there crawl changes? Hold on. Did they fix crawl? Don't get me excited like this. We got like 5 minutes left. I don't see anything for crawl. Fixed issues with the Zaka using her ultimate on offline progress. Okay. Gromma's Wall of Stone that damages all monster where the walls spawn. I thought it always did that. Fix an issue where Gromma's Wall of Stone wasn't knocking enemies back. Gromma's Wall of Stone no longer lets monsters through a spawn near the edge of the... Okay. I don't see crawl changes. I would love crawl changes. I've calculated that I have 1 day left for a time gate opening before the crawl event next month. So I open the gate for crawl, or should I wait a day? Oh, because you mean your manual time gate's going to be like the day before the event. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's not going to matter. Just wait for a crawl then. Like if it's literally a day before. But people that are like right now, I got crawl on my time gate, get him. Don't wait. Because literally in the 2 weeks between now and his event, or like 2.5 or whatever we're looking at now, 3, whatever it is, you could max out your blessings in every single campaign. Like you could push through and do all the main adventures in every single campaign and max out all the blessings. Well, maybe not every single campaign, but like Sword Coast, Tomb of Annihilation, and Waterdeep, you could 100% get all the blessings in all those campaigns by getting crawl now and you'd have that ready, all that power ready by the time you went to do that. And you could do crazy stuff in just a couple weeks with crawl because he doesn't need gear. He doesn't need gear. Are any of Crawl's gem feats worth buying? If you haven't got increased toxicity from a chest. I mean, you get virulent, you get the venomous touch, you get one of his virulent strain ones, and you get pain right off the bat. And I think you could pick up Pilfer if that's a gem feat. I don't know anymore. Like I said, it doesn't tell me after I bought them what they come from. You could pick up the Pilfer one because that's what you would swap in when you go to gem farm. Or, anything related to gold find, right? Or when you go to Zaka farm, excuse me. I can tell we're wrapping the stream up because I'm calling things the wrong name. So yeah, I mean, you could pick those up because they're going to be useful no matter what. So the gold find ones on crawl you could pick up, but you want to run virulent strain feats or virulent strain and pain if you don't have his second virulent strain feat. So you're supposed to open silver chest first and gold. Not supposed to. Like I said, I tried to give a disclaimer. It doesn't change the power of anything. It's just if you are OCD over your collection, this is the collection. If you're OCD about ending up with gaps early on in your collection, you open silvers first and then golds, just because of the way gear drops, it would fill in the lower levels, and you have a higher chance of filling in those levels. Whereas if you open golds first, you're leaving lower rarity gaps that then the chests won't force fill in. So yeah, that's just an obsessive compulsive thing for collection people. It doesn't change the power of anything at all. All right, we are wrapping up. We got 2 minutes left. So tomorrow will be Gaarawarr's Guide to Dragonbait. We'll start that tomorrow morning. I could never remember the time. It's because it's so early. 9 a.m. Pacific. 9 a.m. Pacific, Gaarawarr's Guide to Dragonbait. Next week, we get... Oh, I'm on the wrong... There it is. Hey, Penelope Halfpint is coming to the game next week with the Feast of the Moon. So she'll be joining Sentry and Valanya, arriving then. And right now on Steam, we have a Modron Layout Manager that's currently appears to be working for me, but who knows if it's going to work for everybody. I did test it on both of my cores, and it worked for both of them. Use at your own risk. Submit any bug reports if it doesn't work. Don't yell at me. I didn't do it. I'm glad it's finally arrived, though. So that's going to wrap up the show for today. I will catch you all tomorrow morning. Again, we're going to talk about Dragonbait as a champion, but in the background, we will be unlocking Dragonbait, like the vanilla Dragonbait unlock adventure. We'll be running that, and I'll be talking about, the strategies for formation building to get past him, and what champions I like and what champions I feel are required. Spoiler alert, it's not Krull. Krull isn't required for that, but he makes it easier, like he makes everything in the game easier. So join me tomorrow morning. I will see you all then. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Continue to wear your mask around other people, and wash your hands, and use hand sanitizer, and, do things intelligently. Bye, everybody.